Okay, alright, so this is the 54th tutorial on my channel, and I know I've been very inactive in the past 4 weeks. Okay, so this move has been requested by a lot of you, and this move, although is performed by Noel Heath and Ace, but he's not the creator of this move. The creator of the move is Marco's Demian. But it became really popular after Noel Heath performed it in his solo video Ace. So I'm going to cover as much details as I can so you can learn this move. It looks pretty easy to do, but if you have already tried it, you might have noticed you'll have trouble actually getting the cards to stand and interlink while standing. So first I'm going to talk about the surface, and one of the important points is the surface. So I prefer this is the carpet type mat I use to spread the cards on. This move won't work on a very flat surface like the wooden table underneath this, so because the cards won't be able to when you lift them up, there won't be any friction between the surface and the card, so the card will simply slip. Similarly, if you try to do a ribbon spread, when you flip it over, it won't really work on this wooden type surface. It works best on the card mat. Okay, so and this is the first point, and the second point is you should be good at like spreading the cards evenly. I'm going to go over the gripping on how to spread the cards. So like the ribbon spread is like this, but for this move you're going to be spreading it at this angle, and I'm going to go over the detail in the first part of the tutorial on how to spread the cards like this with both hands to get this V kind of position between these two spreads. And then the second part, I'll be teaching you how to pull these cards upwards. I'll show you. So basically this is the V spread, and now pulling the cards upwards and getting them to stand like this. Okay, and in the end, it's important you watch the entire video, because I'm going to discuss a lot of details on this move, because I've experimented it about 2 months, and it's pretty knacky. So I've covered all the details, and you'll be able to learn this move a lot faster. I've checked out YouTube. They don't really have a lot of tutorials on this move. Like, there are actually none. I don't really know any. So if you do know any tutorials, do comment down them in the links. Otherwise, I think I'll be posting the first one on this move on YouTube. Okay, so now let's get down to the tutorial. Okay, so this is the first part of the tutorial, and I'll be teaching you how to spread the cards, kind of like a ribbon spread, but this is a variation. Okay, starting off, you're going to practice it with one hand, and similarly mirror the move with the other hand. So starting off, if you're left-handed or right-handed, break half the packet, and you're going to hold the packet like this in a straddle grip. So in a straddle grip, on the pinky is at the bottom here. This is the ring, middle, index is going to be right over here. So this is what it looks like. Is a gripping, and the thumb is right here. So especially keep it near the ends, like right about here, because you're going to be spreading it on the surface. So don't keep it too high, otherwise it won't really help spreading the deck. Okay, so to spread these cards in this grip, you're going to basically, what I do is imagine a straight line, and for example, I'll use this line of this mat over here, this one, as the line to show you what I'm doing. So this is the grip, and you see this corner between your index and middle. You're going to align it with this imaginary line in your head. For this video, I'm showing you the line is over here. and practice sliding the cards like this evenly, and don't apply too much pressure on a carpetized surface, because if you do, the when you're pressing it too hard, these cards will slightly like start pivoting slightly at a certain angle. So don't apply too much pressure. What you're going to be doing is apply a light pressure evenly throughout, and and all these corners should align with the line. This corner between your index and middle. So like this. So um this is quite basic, but this is important, really important part of the move, because if you don't really have these cards equally aligned, the move just doesn't work. Now the same thing you're going to practice with your left hand. So the left hand grip is similar to the right. This is the thumb here, index, middle, and this is the basically how you're going to spread. Use the imaginary line, and keep this corner aligned with the imaginary line. The main point of the imaginary line concept that I use is just to get these cards to align straight. Another important point is when you're spreading the cards like together, you can start off at the same time and keep a V grip. So imagine a V. You see this V shape, a right angle right over here, and imagine two parallel lines like here. Okay, and now you're going to spread the cards, and the gap between these two cards, it shouldn't be too much. So I'll show you. This won't work. Okay, this is pretty exaggerated, but you get the point. Obviously the cards won't interlace. This won't work as good. This might mess it up, because you can see the cards are pretty chunked up, so they won't really interlace really good. They should be like this small gap, like this is like half a centimeter break between the two packets. Okay, starting off, I'm going to show you the hand gesture that Noel Heath uses. You might have noticed that he starts off like this, and he pulls it back, and he gets into this kind of clapping position. So basically, what you're going to be doing is, um, when you have to keep your thumbs aligned. That way, when you're spreading the cards, you don't have them up your hands, um, either applying too much pressure by keeping this hand down and this one, and applying less pressure over here, or like when you have these thumbs aligned like this, when you're spreading, it's going to keep the pressure even throughout, because you can't really apply too much pressure, or the cards will just get stuck, clumped in one area, and you won't be able to spread the cards towards yourself. So I'm going to give you an example. So over here, if I apply too much pressure, like if I apply too much pressure over here, the you see I start pulling the cards at the front towards me, and you, and this doesn't really look pretty. It's pretty like they aren't even interlaced. It's a mess. Okay, and the important tip over here is to apply even and light pressure, not too much, because the cards will stand up really easily with even the light pressure. Okay, and continuing it from here, the two thumbs are going to be contacting like this when you start. When you pull these two packets, okay, so once you've done the first part over here, and when you pull these, okay, now I'll show you how to pull these, get these cards in just So what you're going to be doing is you're going to now pull these two pinkies towards each other, and they're going to really go parallel like this in a V shape. So you're going to be pulling them towards each other, and once there'll be a point, like if you're doing this move really quickly, when you might happen to move these two hands towards each other really quickly, and you'll be all like stuck in this clap position already when you're in the middle. So what I mean by that is when you might end up like already in this position, and you'll see that you're stuck here and you don't have any room to like pull back. From here, what you're actually going to be doing is don't completely contact your pinkies with each other. So when you're clapping it, basically getting into the clap position, you're going to keep these pinkies on separate packets. Don't completely like align so that they end up on one side of these two packets. So what I mean is, when you're spreading it, they should be lightly on either ends of the packets, like even a small gap between them should be enough. And you're going to continue pulling it back, your hand back, but apply minimum pressure. Don't apply too much pressure. You might want to apply too much pressure, but that won't work. I'll show you. Okay, so I changed the camera position so you can see the spread from the front better, because my hands are covering it from the side. Okay, so you should be able to spread the cards, the most basic part over here, after you've done the first part of the tutorial. Okay, so the gesture what I mentioned was the two thumbs aligned. So basically when you're pulling these packets up with your nails over here and get them to stand like this, you're going to contact your pinkies, two pinkies opposite ends, and contact your two thumbs like this, and what you're going to be doing now is pull these packets. So basically, if you can do this, if you've done those making birds with shadows like this, so what you're going to be doing is kind of like that kind of gesture, and it's going to be really smooth, like pulling it towards yourself. Okay, so once you have these cards stand up, and you're going to contacting the two thumbs and pulling them back, and continue pulling the two hands, keep them parallel with each other, and continue pulling them back. So this is kind of what it looks like from above, the interlaced. So now I'm going to be covering some important tips, and going to review the move, so that if you really rush through this tutorial, I'm going to make sure I cover the important points. Okay, starting off, the surface is really important, and for those who are using an old deck like me, this is like literally an year-old deck. So I have this fanning powder. You can it's Murphy's Magic's fanning powder. You can buy it. It's a pretty popular. It's best to do it on a cleaner surface, so don't put your hands weight on the cards. Rather, once you have a slight grip, but when you are contacting these tips, don't apply weight on the portion that's contacting with the two spread packets. So when you're basically going to be sliding the your hands parallel with the surface, with the ends lightly contacting the bottoms of your pinkies. Please do like and subscribe. I really work hard on making these tutorials, and I have been busy with all this university work. So thank you for watching.